Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks trimmed in the Jamaican flag and St. George's cross, he is fighting out of Sheffield in England. He weighed in at 139 pounds. His record 37 wins, 2 losses and 2 draws, with 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former British, Commonwealth, and European champion, currently ranked the number 3 world contender. Please welcome the former WBC super lightweight champion of the world, introducing Junior the Hitter Witter. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner, this 12-round vacant championship, wearing red trunks with white trim, hailing from St. Louis, Missouri. He weighed in at a trim and ready 138.5 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with a record of 18 wins, no losses, 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the undefeated WBC Continental America's super lightweight champion, currently ranked the number 2 super lightweight world contender, introducing Devon Alexander the Great.
Let's go, baby. Everybody out. Seconds out. Let's go.
Once again, a referee in charge, Dr. Lou Moret, now to give instructions.
Okay, gentlemen, I'll give you an instruction on the dressing. Shake hands, go to your corner, and await the bell. Good luck.
Devon Alexander, Junior Witter for the WBC Super Lightweight title. Alexander, 22 years old, from St. Louis, Missouri. Considered a prospect. Still, this is a major step up in competition. A win not only gives him a world title, but also makes him a serious contender around the world. Meanwhile, Junior Witter is trying to get back what he had. 35 years old, he lost his title to Tim Bradley in Nottingham. Ironically, he comes to Bradley's hometown to try to get it back. Round 1.
And the $64,000 question with Junior Witter is, will he fight as a righty or a lefty? And he comes out fighting as a righty in this first round. He switches consistently during the course of fights, or usually does.
One thing he did tell us is that he wants to make sure that he switches during the fight, because quite often southpaws don't like to go against southpaws. Southpaws are accustomed to going against orthodox fighters. But Witter, a switch hitter, naturally right-handed, good skills, speed, and experience.
We mentioned that Devon Alexander does not have as much experience against top fighters in this weight class as does Witter, and that's his one liability coming into this fight. They both beat DeMarcus Corley, probably the biggest name on Alexander's list, but Witter, of course, has fought several champions, current, past, or future.
Alexander is coming off a 9th-round knockout win against Jesus Rodriguez in his last fight, April, dropped him in the 8th round. And Witter loses his balance as Alexander rolled that punch.
That is something that those wild swings frequently happen with Junior Witter, and here we have him switching for the first time, going to lefty.
Now he goes back to orthodox. And if you're Alexander and you know that your opponent is going to be switching back and forth, what do you do?
Well, they have worked with mostly lefties. I think they think Junior Witter is going to be a lefty more than he is a righty. And that's maybe, I'm just guessing at that. They didn't say specifically, but I think that's what they're thinking. And I think the right-handed stance may be something for Witter that would be advantageous to him. What Alexander needs to do, and he has done not as much of it here in round 1 as I know they want, is just be steady. Use the jab, keep throwing combinations, pressuring Witter. He's not done that much in this first round. He's mostly posed and moved forward.
Witter very awkward, keeps his hands at his waist. That's his style. Likes to move backwards. He told us that he will take his time and allow Alexander to come in and then catch it.
Don't wrestle, guys. Let him go. Let him go.
Witter won the vacant WBC super lightweight title in London with a 12-round unanimous decision against southpaw and former WBO junior welterweight world champion DeMarcus Corley, as you mentioned.
Don't hold. Stop. 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 Hey, stop when I tell you to. Let's go. 10 seconds, guys.
10 seconds remaining in the first round, scheduled for 12 for the WBC super lightweight title.
Oh.
And let's take a look at the keys for this fight.
For Devon Alexander, hand speed is important. Combinations, didn't throw any in the first round. I don't think he can afford to be too brave in this fight. They believe Witter cannot hurt him, but he can't be too reckless because I think Witter can. And the right hook is his best punch. I think the best punch in this fight, and one he'll need to land. For Witter, I say righty is right. If I was him, I'd fight this fight almost exclusively as a right-hander. He has more power that way. Well, did we see a few wild swings? Yeah, I think so. He's got to be careful of those because he'll get countered. And the left hook from the right-handed stance is the biggest power punch Witter has. He needs to get his attention. Did I say wild swing?
Yes, you did.
This one is, we'll find this one in the dictionary next to wild swing. That was a little bit off balance for Junior Witter.
Witter trying to remain relaxed in the ring, dancing before he comes out to start the second round. Scheduled for 12. Witter in the black and green trunks. Alexander, the younger fighter, in red. Alexander does a nice job of sitting down on his punches. He's very accurate with power as Witter swings wildly again. But in the past, he's been very effective with a straight left hand to the body. There it is.
You can already tell in this fight, and whether it continues or how long it takes Devon Alexander to feel comfortable. There's that hook by Alexander, an important punch. However long it takes him to feel comfortable, guys, he is in against a fighter of another level than he's been in with. It's more difficult for him to get off and land his punches right now than I think he would have imagined against this very clever Brit.
Right now, some blood coming out of the mouth of Witter as he takes a wild attempt at a left hook to the body.
You know, even by his standards, this is a very awkward performance so far by Junior Witter. He is, well, part of the reason why I think a right-handed stance is better for him, he tends to be a little more disciplined and throw his punches a little straighter when he's a righty.
Alexander trying to get closer by establishing the jab. It's a snapping jab.
Stop. Stop. They're back.
They're banging heads a lot. I think that's actually where the blood came on the mouth of Witter because the heads are getting together a lot. And that's mostly because of Witter, I think.
Oh. Okay, watch that.
Alexander telling us, I've been waiting my whole life for this opportunity to fight for a world title since the age of 7. Ooh, nice left hand by Witter, right on the button.
That's the left hook that he can land if he stays in the right-handed stance and throws that punch with conviction.
Alexander walks right through it, though. Witter trying to double up the jab, into his knees now.
We talked about this ring, which is only about 17 feet on the inside, 17 to 18 feet. So I think the Alexander folks felt like that would help them because Witter wants to move a little bit more.
Stop.
27 seconds remaining in the second round, scheduled for 12 for the WBC super lightweight title. Devon Alexander from St. Louis.
Come on, you can't do that.
In red, Junior Witter, 35 years old, from Sheffield, England. Oh, nice right hand, and that buckles Witter. He's in trouble. The right hook was short and clean. And that's the end of the second round. Gina Carano will be hosting Carano Cyborg Week on Show 2, featuring past fights of the two combatants. That's Monday, August 10th to Friday, August 14th at 10 p.m.
That cone up here, Mustang. Give me the cone. Rinse it. Swallow this, Junior. Just swallow it. Just swallow it. Give me a bucket. Give me a bucket. Give me a bucket. Give me a bucket.
Well, here's Junior Witter from the lefty stance was able to land a good straight left. From the right-handed stance, he was then able to land a left hook against Devon Alexander. Pretty good punch, but not as good as the right hook that would be landed momentarily by Alexander. This we knew would be his big punch, and there's that short right hook that staggered Junior Witter. Alexander has a lot of power in that punch.
Come on, let's do it, Joe. Let's do it. Come on, I'm chilling. Come on, double that.
Witter was knocked down by Timothy Bradley in Nottingham in the 6th round in their world championship fight, and that really turned around the fight entirely.
Completely, because Witter was boxing very effectively against Bradley to that point. Now Witter's in the right-handed stance.
Oh, another right hand by Alexander. That staggers Witter. Witter's in trouble right now. He's got blood coming out of his right eye.
Well, and Witter landed his own right hand as well, which helped him a little, but at least it staved off Alexander.
Alexander, a very sharp puncher. His hands are getting heavier and heavier the older that he gets.
He's a young man who grew up with Kevin Cunningham, who also has trained Corey Spinks. A chilling statistic was given us. Kevin Cunningham said he had 30 fighters in the gym.
Let him go.
He's the last one standing. 9 of them actually ended up dying from violent death. Murdered, and then 10 are in prison. So it's a rough road, and he has this young man who he said has never been in a fight outside of a boxing.
And one of those fighters that ended up in prison was Alexander's brother Vaughn, who is serving a 14-year sentence for robbery. And he supposedly was the best of the bunch, 5-0 before he was sent away.
Devon Alexander's being very consistent now. He's throwing more punches. He's landing more. The kind of steady, careful attack that they wanted, but still an aggressive one, has definitely emerged here.
Alexander, consistent. He is establishing that snapping jab, and it's becoming his bread and butter. Some blood over the right eye of Witter. And as you mentioned, Al, these two gentlemen have butted heads a number of times during this fight, and we're only in the 3rd round.
A lot of that has to do with Witter often coming in with his face first.
Right hook again by Alexander, and that backs up the former world champion.
That's the big weapon for Alexander. And I think that's another reason why being a lefty adds to the woes of Witter, because that right hook is more likely to land.
Break. Ten seconds, gentlemen. Don't spin. Stop.
And Witter will hold and walk Alexander. And it takes us to the end of the 3rd round, and we will go into the corner of Junior Witter.
Close your eye. Close your eye. Close your eye. Close your eye. All right, listen. This kid is doing nothing different, Junior. Your timing's a little bit off. You've got to relax and start working that job and scoring. You understand? You're hitting him with the heaviest shots. He's hitting you to the body and the chest. Vaseline. Head bite. Yeah.
The right hook of Devon Alexander has made itself felt in this fight. That one was a little bit of a slap, but still had some power behind it.
All right? Slip, slide, and roll when he's throwing that wild, crazy shit. All right? But stay behind your jab. Touch him up and down. Then I want you to shoot that. I want you to shoot that left hand in the body hard, man. And then come back over. You see that hook? You see that? There you go.
So along with effective right hands, Alexander is showing some good defense too, as he's picking off Witter's right hands as he attempts to come in. 4th round scheduled for 12. The WBC Super Lightweight title on the line. Junior Witter, the 35-year-old in black and green. Devon Alexander, the 22-year-old in red.
You know, Junior Witter, every time he throws, when he gets in that righty stance and throws the left hook, it always touches Devon Alexander a little bit. And if you throw it, try to double it up and throw it to the body and the head, I guarantee you there would be some results from it. But he's just not committed to that kind of attack.
Alexander moving in, but Witter ties him up. Witter's not a fighter that likes to fight inside at all. Wild uppercut missing.
But who's the comedian that said that's just wrong? He used to have that routine, and that is just wrong for Junior Witter.
Alexander saying, I have to be smarter and aggressive, but at the same time, and this was a recurring theme for him when we talked to him yesterday, I have to have fun in there.
Yeah, he believes in that. And while he's very serious, you can tell he's a pretty loose fighter, and even at this big moment when he's fighting for his first world title. And while he hasn't been spectacular in this fight, he has been consistent. There's that hook again from Witter as a righty.
Watch Alexander's left hand. He turns it over nicely, meaning getting some snap at the end of it. In New York, they say turn it over. In Detroit, they say elbow up. In martial arts, Bruce Lee would say it's a corkscrew punch. But he can really get some nice torque on that left hand if you can get close.
Junior Witter trying to use the jab and land something of note. And, you know, Junior Witter, no matter what, a very difficult target to hit at any time. He's just a very slippery, clever fighter. But having said that, Alexander has gotten to him a fair amount of times here in these first 4 rounds.
45 seconds remaining in the 4th round. Witter, wild again, most of those punches blocked. Wild and wide punches by Junior Witter, leaving himself open for something right down the middle. Lou Moret telling Witter, no holding, let him go.
Yeah, refereeing a Junior Witter fight, not the easiest task in the world. It tends to get a bit messy in there.
And that is the end of the round. Time now to join the 3rd member of our team, Jim Gray.
All right, Gus, thank you very much. I'm now joined by Corey Spinks. He is the IBF Junior Middleweight Champion. And, of course, you train with Devon Alexander. He spars with you. What's your assessment so far of how he's doing?
I love it, man. He's looking beautiful. He's doing everything that we told him to do. I mimicked this guy to a T. You know, all the wild punches, he's getting out of the way of them, and he's staying in control of this fight.
You're screaming an awful lot of instructions. What is it that you would like to see Devon do?
Well, right now he's boxing beautifully, you know, but he can flick the jab a little bit more, you know, keep him offset a little bit, throw a couple of more fakes up in there, and keep setting the guy up.
Hard to watch a friend so close that you are in this circumstance?
Yes, it's hard, very hard, man, because I'm pulling for this kid so bad. So, you know, we'll see what happens at the end of the fight.
All right, Corey, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Gus, back to you.
Thank you, Jim. Round 5. Scheduled for 12 for the WBC Super Lightweight title. Devon Alexander in red, Junior Witter in black.
And, of course, Corey Spinks won back his junior middleweight title on our ShowBox in a very stirring match against Deandra Lattimore.
Let's take a look at the press row scoring through 4.
Greg Beecham from the Associated Press and Steve Kim from MaxBoxing.com both have it the way I do, 39-37. And Leighton Jin from the Desert Sun has it a draw. And so clearly a couple of these rounds tricky because there's a lot of messy action, as I said.
Witter now trying to really pop his jab from multiple angles. He's gone back to southpaw. He's switched since the very beginning. Now he goes back to orthodox.
You know, the irony is the last fight he had against Victor Castro, coming back from the loss of Bradley, he fought the entire fight as a righty and was very effective and scored a knockout. And that's where his power is.
Knocked Castro out in the 3rd round, dropped him twice in the fight.
Don't wait!
That left hand landing on the right shoulder of Witter.
He caught it, and Witter's going to hold on.
Stop. Let him go.
Witter is hurt with 1:20 to go.
And that was the left, but lots of power in that punch too for Alexander.
He turned that left hand over, and now Witter is trying to buy time.
Stop holding.
Alexander moves in.
Stop.
Here's where Alexander could use the jab to set these punches up and wouldn't be caught in those clinches so much.
No, let him go.
He's not attacking as smartly as he would like right now. This is the quintessential nutty performance by Junior Witter. There have been times when he is much more of a technician, but there are times when he fights and the fights are just so wild and so unorthodox, and that's what this one is.
And for Devon Alexander, as a young fighter, great experience for him, even though this is a title fight.
Yeah.
It's hard to look good against a guy like Junior Witter because of his style.
And it is, and you know what? Your statement's not inappropriate. Yeah, it's a title fight, but this young man is still a young man in terms of boxing years. Big round for Alexander.
Alexander really moving in. Witter pretending like he isn't hurt, but he's buying time and cleared the cobwebs as he heads back to his bench.
Don't be looking for any favours off this fucking referee. Listen to me. Come on. Here, deep breathe, deep breathe, deep breathe, deep breathe, deep breathe. Deep breathe. Come on.
Devon Alexander, while he's been landing the right hook, for the most part, landed an excellent straight left hand. And that punch was very straight and very effective, and you can see Junior Witter trying desperately not to go down. Witter throwing a wild punch, a crazy wild left hand, left his head up in the air, and that's when Devon Alexander landed the good left. This will give you a perfect view of how wild that left hand is. Look at how wide that punch is that Witter threw. He was just wide open for that left hand, and Alexander delivered it.
Junior Witter, 37-2-2 with 22 KOs during his career, a 12-year pro. 40 world championship rounds he's fought. But it's the 22-year-old Alexander that looks like the veteran, and he's the man that looks like he's more poised in the ring tonight.
Well, he's a better technician than Junior Witter in terms of fundamentals, and that is helping him tonight to a great degree. He had a, great long amateur career, barely missed out making the Olympics when he lost on the closest of decisions. He fought Rock Allen in the Olympic trials, and it was 15-15 at the end, and they went to the computer to decide who won. So
that was back in 2004. Devon Alexander with over 300 amateur fights. Boxing since he was 7.
And it's pretty hard for me to say nice things about a guy that walks into the weigh-in with a Cardinal hat and jersey on, me being a long-suffering Cubs fan, but I got to give Devon his props. They told us that Albert Pujols wants to see him when he gets back to St. Louis. They're all big baseball fans, and make a presentation to him involving his belt. So that's pretty impressive.
I'm sure all of St. Louis is watching this fight this evening, as a local boy has the opportunity to win a world championship.
Of course, this fight has a ways to go in it still, but right now, Devon Alexander is fighting extremely well, and we presume is probably ahead in this fight.
Witter backing up, switching once again. And this is what we saw when he fought Timothy Bradley. First 5 rounds were tough, but in the 6th round, things really started to heat up. And that's when Bradley dropped him. and took complete control of the fight from there.
Don't wrestle, break.
This is an effort by Junior Witter that, you know, he was in a desperation mode to try and win this fight. And unfortunately, we're not seeing the best of what he does. In a way, we're seeing the parts that he doesn't like to show that much. The wildness, the lack of offense that sometimes accompanies his style, and it's just not working out the way he wants it to right now, because even though he's moving around this small ring, he's not boxing effectively.
Blood coming out of the mouth of Witter.
That was a good right by Witter.
Another right hook by Alexander lands, backs him up, and he pops him with another left hand as the round ends. Now, earlier tonight, our Jim Gray caught up with the veteran, Nate Campbell.
Nate, your shirt is for Arturo Gatti and Vernon Forrest on your hat. Are you dedicating tonight's fight to the both of them in their memory?
Yes, I am. Two good friends of mine, two guys that I really love and admire, so I'm giving it up for them.
You have said that you want to punish Timothy Bradley, and you've made it a point of saying that he's not your favorite guy and there's a dislike here. What is it about him that's the problem?
I don't have a dislike for him. He started with the very bad Campbell soup jokes, so I guess I'll make him pay for that.
Soup is good food, though.
Very good food.
Hey, let me ask you about your ability tonight and a do-or-die situation, which you told us in our pre-fight meeting, that at 37 years of age, you can't afford to have a hiccup here.
I can't. Nobody wants to fight me as it is. So, I mean, without a title, without name recognition, I don't get a fight.
All right, Nick, best of luck tonight. We'll talk to you after the fight.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Jim, 7th round, scheduled for 12 for the WBC Super Lightweight title. Devon Alexander, 22 years old, the number 2 WBC Super Lightweight contender. He's 18-0 with 11 KOs versus Junior Witter in the black and green, the former WBC Super Lightweight champion. And he is ranked number 3 by the WBC, 37-2-2 with 22 KOs.
You know, if there's one element of his performance that I think Alexander would look back at and not be as happy with, but he is doing it in this round, is the repeated use of the jab. In this round, the Alexander jab's been very, very effective.
Alexander snapping it once again. Tight defense.
You know, Witter has used his jab from time to time effectively, and when he's a lefty, that's the one part of his game that is really better as a lefty. He throws a better right jab, but he's not a powerful puncher, and I think for him to win this fight, he's going to have to get the attention of Alexander at some point and hurt him, and that will only be done from the right-handed stance, and it'll only be done, in my opinion, with the left hook. But he doesn't stay righty long enough, really, to make that happen.
Witter with a nice jab to the body. That backed up Alexander.
Right.
Junior Witter telling us yesterday, this is it. I don't win this, I don't know where I'm going. This is my future. This fight is my present. Fans not happy with the lack of action in the ring.
Yeah, they're a little restless because, you know, Junior Witter has been here before. He's made fights like this. And as you pointed out, it's very tough for the man facing him to be as fluid as he would like to be. And that's part of what Devon Alexander is facing right now. Now, in this round, it's interesting. Junior Witter can make a case that he has boxed well enough almost to win this round because he's landed a lot of jabs. So it's very interesting. This might be a fairly close round to score.
7th round coming to an end. Witter has gone 12 rounds 6 times, 10 rounds, never.
That was a good left by Witter. He delivered it from the left-handed stance, but it got there.
10 seconds.
Nice jab by Alexander. And that gets Witter on his horse.
Time!
Let's go to Jim Gray, who moments ago talked to the champion, Timothy Bradley.
Timothy, we just spoke to Nate Campbell, and he said that he is going to make you pay for those bad Campbell soup quotes that you came up with. Were you just having a good time, or were you trying to get under his skin?
I was just having a good time. It wasn't nothing personal, you know. Campbell, you know, he likes to talk, you know, but it was just to basically get under his skin and just, you know, just kidding around with him. That's pretty much it.
Is he the best fighter that you will have faced in your career?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nate Campbell, really don't have to say too much about him. He, you know, everybody knows what he's capable of doing. And, you know, I just can't wait to get in the ring and actually feel it.
You got 2,300 people here in your hometown come to see you. Do you feel the pressure of that, or are you feeling that you'll be lifted? What exactly is going through you?
Right now, I'm just focused on the game plan pretty much. You know, I feel a little added pressure. You know, I just want to perform well. I definitely want to win here in my hometown and, you know, definitely put up a good fight for the fans.
Timothy, thank you. We'll talk to you afterwards.
Thank you very much.
Gus Johnson, Al Bernstein, ringside. Al, your response to both interviews?
Well, I think that gave us a good glimpse into the personalities of both men. Nate Campbell feels persecuted by the boxing hierarchy, and, you know, he does a lot of that, I think, to pump himself up as well. And Bradley has a different attitude. He's just not as much into the hyperbole of things.
Round 8 scheduled for 12 for the WBC Super Lightweight title between Devon Alexander and Junior Witter. And let's take a look at how the press has scored the fight through 7.
The gap widening. Greg Beecham, Associated Press, and Steve Kim remain the same, and Leighton Jin with a small edge for Alexander. And I think that's pretty much the way we're seeing the fight. We don't know if it's the way the official judges are seeing it.
Don't wrestle. Stop. Come on, guys. No wrestling.
And you know, Leighton Jin's score there, when you look at it, that's conceivable because there were a couple of very close rounds that could have made it close enough. But I think Alexander has controlled the pace of this fight to a great degree.
Now when you look at Junior Witter, you get the feeling that he is fighting to survive and not necessarily fighting to win.
One warning. Keep holding him.
This world title.
Point. You understand? No more. Okay.
And Dr. Lou Moret has been kind. He probably should have taken a point away a couple of rounds ago.
You know, but I like the way he's acting. I'll tell you why. I like what he's done, Gus, because, you know, fighters come across the shore and they often, you know, are persecuted here or in Europe. He gave him every opportunity, and now he's telling him, look, you keep holding, you are going to get a point taken away. So, I think that he's right where he should be in terms of making sure that something gets taken away if Witter keeps doing it.
Witter refusing to fight inside. This fight very similar to what we saw from Witter against Zab Judah.
Yeah, it's a very good point. And even facing a lefty in that instance. And, you know, Devon Alexander, you have to give him a lot of credit for just staying consistent in this fight. He hasn't been spectacular, but he's been good. And that's what you need to be in a fight like this. Because it's very difficult against Witter. You can sit on the outside of this ring and minimize how tough it is to fight an awkward fighter like this, but when you're in there, it's pretty difficult.
14 seconds to go in the 8th.
10 seconds.
And it's been more of a wrestling match as opposed to a boxing affair. Courtesy of Junior Witter, the Englishman.
Good. You only getting caught with some bullshit when you walk up on him and pose. If you stay in perpetual motion and you sticking and you dropping and you breaking your hook and your two off, you rolling and you slide, you doing something. He wants you to stop and pose. He needs you to do that. You can't do that, all right? Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Champ.
And Corey Spinks. Wait a minute. This fight is over. This fight is over. He quit.
Right back. There you go.
Witter quit. Incredible. Well, he just walked to the other side of the ring. And he quit. In a world title fight. Wow.
the part of Corey Spinks and Alexander and the whole St. Louis group, but it is puzzling because Junior Witter wasn't taking a monstrous amount of punishment. It didn't appear, and it was certainly not a fight, unless there's some injury for Junior Witter that we don't know about. That would be the wild card in this situation. But it's kind of an ignominious way for him to end this fight. I think it's even fair to say that without piling on.
Joy for Devon Alexander. At 22 years old, he accomplishes a dream that began when he saw Hilmer Kinty, the world champion, the former Kronk boxer, on the wall in his St. Louis gym wearing a green belt. And he said one day to a local reporter, I want to wear the green belt. Well, today is the day. Alexander has a green belt wrapped around his chest.
And he doesn't care how it happened because he was consistent in his efforts. So while there may be some that will feel the win was tarnished because this man and his corner, we're being told that his corner was responsible to some degree for stopping it. We don't know. We'll see what information we can get.
Let's go into Witter's corner right before this fight was stopped.
Junior, I don't want to do it, but you can't throw one punch and grab every time. You're doing it all night. That's enough. Okay? All right?
He's finished.
Huh?
Yeah.
Is that it? Done. It's over. It's over.
Wow.
Well, it was hard to discern there whether that idea came from his cornerman or from
Dr. Lou Moret.
Well, Dr. Lou Moret suggested he couldn't hold anymore, but it was, of course, the Ingles in the corner there were chatting with Junior Witter. Difficult to tell whose idea it was, but the bottom line is it was over.
Corey Spinks, Kevin Cunningham, Alexander's trainer in the ring with Don King as well.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
And as you mentioned, Al, he'll take it any way he can get it, especially against a guy like Junior Witter, who's it's hard to look good against a fighter that is throwing one punch and then grabbing and holding and walking.
Very difficult indeed. And
all right, let's go inside the ring to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has been stopped at the end of round number 8. A referee in charge, Dr. Lou Moret, calls the contest upon suggestion of the corner. The fighter unable to continue. He is the winner by way of knockout. He is the new WBC Super Lightweight Champion of the World, Devon Alexander the Great.
Devon Alexander wins the WBC Super Lightweight title at 22 years of age.
a very consistent effort by Devon Alexander, pretty much what they wanted from him.
Now, we invite you to stay with us as we have a lot more to come tonight. Still ahead, it's the WBO Junior Welterweight Championship, as we'll take a closer look at undefeated champion Timothy Bradley and former lightweight king Nate Campbell. We'll have a preview of Showtime Sports' historic Super 6 World Boxing Classic, and we'll also tell you about other upcoming events on the Showtime Sports calendar. That's all coming up as Showtime Championship Boxing continues. But now, let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official announcement. Actually, let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, Gus, thank you very much. Devon, congratulations to you. You've been wanting to wear this green belt since you were 7 years old, and now you've got it around your shoulder and around your waist. What does it mean to you?
Feels good, baby. So my dad, I'd like to thank God. I got it now. I got it. My coach, he stood by me since I was 7. And now it's here, baby. I got it. I got it. I got it.
Your father passed away. You visit his grave every Friday.
Yes.
He always taught you and told you to be humble.
Stay humble. Hey, that's what I did. That's why I'm wearing this belt right now. I train hard every day. I didn't miss a day at the gym. When I was amateur, when I was pro, I stayed dedicated. And now I got the green belt, the world title. God is good. God is good.
You're a remarkable story because 9 guys died who you started with. The other 10 are in jail. You're the last man standing. How did you manage that with all the disaster all around you?
I had my family, Kevin. You know, he never gave up on me. He's the only one that never gave up on me. And now I got it. I had Dodd with me. He never gave up on me. And now I got it, baby. We taking it back to St. Louis.
St. Louis.
I know this is a difficult time to talk about the fight because you're so emotional with your accomplishment, but if you can for just a moment, Witter really never seemed to get on track, and he was awkward and wild. How were you able to manage to control this fight?
Because I got a dynamite team. We had a game plan. We had an A game, a B game, and a C game. If he was going to run, we was going to stay in his butt. If we could box with him, if he was going to come forward, we had all of it. I told him in the press conference, there's nothing he's going to do to stop me from walking out the ring with this WBC title.
Were you surprised he quit?
No, because we worked hard, we trained hard, and now God blessed me with this WBC title. I thank God for this.
Congratulations to you. It's a great accomplishment, Devon.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Showtime. My family in St. Louis, y'all coming back. Kim, Don, we did it, baby. We did it.
All right, as we take a look right now in Junior Witter's dressing room, Witter left the ring. The doctors are taking a look at him. We attempted to talk to him, but he went back into his dressing room and is being attended to by the ringside physician here in the Palm Springs area. Gus, when we have an update, we'll bring it to you.
Thank you very much, Jim. So congratulations to Devon Alexander as he wins his first title. Let's take a look at the judges' scorecards.
Clearly, they felt that the Alexander aggression was getting the job done, and most every round going to him on the 3 judges' scorecards. At the time of the stoppage, we should point out.
Meanwhile, press row.
And in press row, Greg Beecham of the Associated Press and Steve Kim of Max Boxing had a bigger margin, but clearly they also felt that Alexander's aggression was more than Witter could handle.
The new WBC champion from St. Louis, Missouri, Devon Alexander the Great. Coming up next from the Agua Caliente Casino Resort Spa in Rancho Mirage, California, it's our main event. The charismatic hometown champion Timothy Bradley looks to keep his winning streak going as he defends his title against the always dangerous veteran Nate Campbell. Devon Alexander defeated Junior Witter for the WBC super lightweight title in a fight that ended in a very strange way on Witter's behalf. Let's go to Jim Gray, who's standing by with the Englishman.
Okay, Gus, thank you very much. Junior, what happened in between rounds there before the 9th round? Did you want to continue fighting, and did your corner stop it, or the other way around? Tell us what happened.
My elbow went in probably round 4, and I couldn't keep him off with my left hand, so I battled through it for a few rounds, and the pressure kept coming on, and it was like, I can't keep doing it. I kept switching, which was working to an extent, but I wasn't able to box the way I wanted to. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good at all, and we just decided that it was time to let this one go.
So you stopped the fight, or your corner stopped the fight, or was it a mutual agreement?
It was a mutual agreement. As much as I wanted to do it, I just wasn't able to do it. It's not that I wanted to quit, because I wanted to win. I knew it was a close fight. There wasn't much in it. It caught me some good shots. I caught him some good shots. The fight was very close. I still had a chance to win the fight, but yeah, I just wasn't here on the night.
You told us in the pre-fight meeting, this is my future. This is my present. There is no tomorrow. I have no plan.
Yeah.
Was this your last fight?
No. I don't think it's my last fight. I've got to decide exactly where I'm going now and which way I go about it. I'm going to sit down with Dominic, Brendan, McKenzie, and we'll talk about where we actually go from here. But at the minute, I just want to get away from it for a bit. See how my injuries, see how my heals up, and go from that.
Junior, we appreciate your time. Thanks for letting us in your locker room.
Thank you.